Hello, and welcome to my first video essay. In this video, I want to talk about Andy from Alien Romulus, and how I've read his character to be written as autistic. I'm not sure if this was done intentionally, which we will get to later. From searching about what other people think of this, I found it to be pretty widely accepted. This won't be a complete in-depth character analysis, as I will mainly be focusing on autistic themes. I want to make a disclaimer that this video is purely my own interpretation as an autistic individual myself, who could see themselves a lot in this portrayal. I'm not qualified for actually diagnosing individuals, and I do not have the exact experiences to make comments on how individuals who are Black and autistic are affected. I would highly encourage you to seek out Black autistic creators to listen to their experiences regarding this. This is because ableism and racism usually go hand in hand, and so people fall under the cracks in terms of both getting a diagnosis and having their voices heard, and therefore have different experiences tying with their autism as a cause of that. I haven't come across anyone else making a video on the topic of Andy being autistic, so I'm really excited to hear other individuals as well. There will obviously be spoilers for the movie Alien Romulus, just to let you know. So let's get into it. Starting off with the movie, seeing Andy and recognizing his traits made me so happy, because I could immediately tell that he was neurodivergent. I was extremely happy that the actor was doing such a great job in showing these traits accurately. Andy is seen to repeat the same jokes, get overwhelmed by noise, squint his eyes at lights, and miss social cues. And then came the scene where it was revealed to us as the audience that Andy was actually just a synthetic, a robot. Finding this out was enough to hurt me a bit, as I later spoke with my sister and dad about Andy being autistic, and they went, "But he's just an android. That's why he was like that, not because he's autistic." I can see how this narrative is so widely common, in which movies and series love taking autistic traits and stereotypically adding them onto robot characters. We, as autistic people, seem to be like robots for other people, therefore it just fits, right? Nothing dehumanizing about this at all. Well, I'd like to say that I don't care if Andy's a synthetic, or a robot, or whatever. I believe Andy to still be autistic because him being a synthetic does not rid him of his traits. I believe that a robot character has the potential to not have autistic traits, and the view of people believing that they cannot exist separately as two different concepts are unknowingly fading into an ableist belief. There will be a lot of autistic individuals who will see themselves in fictional characters that are non-human, such as robots or aliens, and that is most often because of underrepresentation of authentic autistic characters existing in the media. We rarely have anything to relate to, and therefore jump right to the conclusion that we are just incapable of relating to humans because of it, because we don't get to see humans like us. I remember as a child telling my mother, thinking I had to be an alien or some sort, because I could not relate to anybody. I truly believed I was broken. If someone had held my hand and showed me that I did belong, that I am human, and introduced me to other autistic individuals, I wouldn't have grown up believing I was an alien. Therefore, watching Andy being revealed to us did not change my opinions on the character. I did roll my eyes, but for me, he had autistic traits separately from him being an artificial person. This was emphasized as we later got to see another synthetic character called Rook, not particularly displaying autistic traits. But hold on, I hear someone telling me, that's because Rook has the proper directive and is not broken. Meanwhile, Andy is broken. He was left abandoned, which made him defective. That's why Rook doesn't display those traits, because he isn't defective like Andy is. Pause. Can we all mutually agree on how backhanded that sounds? He's a defective robot now, and therefore develops autistic traits? Rook was literally found to be half dead on the abandoned ship. His entire lower half is missing, but Andy is the defective one? For what? Not caring about the company? For showing autistic traits? I don't like how that sounds at all. Even with or without his new directive, Andy to me is an autistic character, separate of his defective state. This is me as an autistic person reclaiming a character. This will lead me on to talking about how I've interpreted the parts when Andy is given his new directive and his personality switch. I will try to explain my thoughts on it that I had throughout watching the movie, as it also plays a huge part in my interpretation of being autistic. I've seen some comments regarding Andy's director switch, that it turns him into a new character completely, that having this updated chip, Andy was now a total opposite of what he used to be. Seeing Andy and the updated version as two separate individuals or characters. It surprised me that people saw it this way, because in my head it made perfect sense for Andy to react as such. Andy now obeying societal orders, showing more courage, underreacting by choosing not to be emotional, showing less sensitivity to his surroundings, having the desire to finally prove to his sister that, quote, he can finally be useful now and not be such a burden, to not be a child in her eyes, end quote. All reminded me of how I exactly act when I'm forced to mask in high pressure situations. The definition of masking, for those who don't know, is a way of acting used by some autistic people, consciously or unconsciously, to defend themselves, to appear non-autistic in order to blend in and be more accepted. It is something that is shoved onto autistic people for them to be of use to society, and upgrading Andy's chip is essentially a perfect fit metaphor for it. Was this done in the movie intentionally? I highly doubt it, but watching it through the lens of autistic experiences, this would be pretty obvious not to miss. I've seen so many people commenting on Andy's upgraded form to being the superior one, and that he got 10 times better with it, because upgraded Andy is able to be of use now, is now not sensitive, and is not awkward. It sounds eerily familiar. Rain, Andy's sister, recognizes that this isn't necessarily Andy. He was not a different person now, but he was not acting like himself. Being forced to be helpful and to strictly adhere to societal expectations, which in Andy's case would be the company, since their star system is ruled by it, does emotional harm to both himself and Rain. Just like outside of fiction, masking hurts autistic individuals, as well as their close loved ones. I'm not sure if I've gone too overboard with all of this, or if I'm reaching, but this was all I could think of while watching this movie. Watching Mob Psycho was also a similar experience for me, as the main character literally has a countdown for their next meltdown. I recommend that anime if you're searching for more characters who depict autism effectively. Overall, the way Andy is treated, his displayed traits, and the masking metaphor that fits like a glove is enough for me to feel confident in saying that this character is very autistic coded. I love Andy so much. I need someone to make like a compilation video of him whenever he's displaying his traits. Oh, I want to add one here as a little bonus. Here's him not giving a fuck and focusing on his video game.
Damage your obsolete. Like that guy over there. Get on.
Okay, just tell her.
Why are we all sitting around here? We're traffic partners of the company.
I think I've mainly said what's been on my mind, and I would really want to hear other people's interpretations. I hope we get to see more of Andy in upcoming movies, because I have to be honest, he's my favorite right now. Like, I'm so normal about him. Here's a drawing I made of him. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and see ya.